For fuck's sake. Why doesn't Argentina have more black players in the World Cup? Folks, Fernando doing another video, and I'm doing this just so as to show how racist the left is in the United States, up to the point that they need to start pointing fingers around at others so as to make them part of their made-up problem. Everyone is racist if you don't have a quota of black people in a national team. And it's insane. I mean, this woman, racist woman, you guys should check who you give degrees on what. Dr. Erica Denise Edwards, she's absolutely certain that Argentina has a bunch of black people that are being kept down and not allowed into the national teams because we're all a bunch of dirty racists that don't want black people to play. That's simply not true. It's all wrong. Erica Denise Edwards defends her piece and said she visited and had various extended stays in Argentina for the past 20 years. Well, maybe instead of going to a country and judging based on her own bias, she should have listened more and understood that Argentina and people from Argentina only care about winning. If there's a guy that is good enough to make it into the national team, we couldn't care less if he's black, purple, green, or orange. It just doesn't matter. If there's not a guy here that is black, it's simply because he doesn't exist. A guy that is black, Argentine, and good enough to make it into the national team, there's not one. Okay, these guys are the ones that you have. And besides, none of these guys are white. All of these guys are people of color. According to your own racist bias, your own racist American bias, none of these are white. These are all men of color. According to, publications like this one, Anya Taylor Joy, classified as a woman of color in Variety magazine. Only white Americans are white. Everyone else has to be something else. This is just, you can't make this crap up. Argentine Taylor Joy is the first woman of color to win this category in Queen Latifah in 2008. Taylor Joy identifies as a white Latina and was born to a father of Argentine and Scottish origin and a mother of English and Spanish origin. You probably know her from Queen's Gambit, but yeah, not white. So these guys, none of these guys are white either. Now, yeah, probably a lot of these have a Spanish, like in Spain, last name, a lot of Italian, like Italy last names as well, and a lot of people that have that, ancestry. And yes, some like Lautaro Martinez, more of that Native American blood maybe mixed in there. Angel Di Maria too. And yeah, people like Alexis McAllister, yeah, Irish, background or family descent. And doesn't matter. We do not give a damn in Argentina about any of that. And it's, that is your problem, your own racist problem about having a quota of black people. Even back in the day, and I could show you, like, in the times of, 1978, when Argentina won the World Cup, this man right here, Hector Moreno, he was playing for the national team. And it's so much the case that Argentina is not racist that Hector Moreno in 1978 made it to the national team. Why? Because he was black and we were worried about having a black guy in the team so as to fulfill a quota? No, he was simply good enough, right? Hector Moreno was a good enough goalie so as to make it into the national team. But, that's simply the way it is. Also in this picture, you see Balai at the ripe old age of 71 with his granddaughter, which, again, this illustrates well why it is that there's not a whole lot of black people in Argentina, because there's not, a large black population to begin with, and as time goes by and as further descendants keep, taking place, you end up with a mixed race of people that end up looking kind of like this. Again, nothing really to worry about because none of these is actually white. Now, if you listen to these other ass representation, no one gives a damn about black representation. It's simply, maybe if you worried less about black representation, you wouldn't suck so much at football and maybe get closer to, winning one of these things one of these days. But This is the racist attitude that people from the United States have. Well, you don't have a black guy in the team, you're racist. No, it's simply not the case. There's simply not a black guy that made it into a squad because in general, there's not a whole lot of black people in Argentina. It's, according to a census back in the day, 0.4%. And even then, that 0.4% figure is based on a question that was on the lines of, do you know if at some point in your family there was someone that could have been considered of African descent? That was a question that landed this 0.4%. I'm telling you, it's not even 0.4% black people in Argentina. And it's not just football. If you look at other sports as well, like rugby. Again, for those of you who don't know what rugby is, imagine like American football, but no helmet, no pads, and no kneeling, and a lot of national pride. Well, that's rugby. And this is the kind of people that you have in the rugby Argentine national team. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of African Americans because they're not Americans, and there's not a whole lot of African descent in Argentina. It's a bunch of non-white Argentines that probably a lot of these have Italian or Spanish ancestry, and some from Native American origins, but this is kind of what they look like. Believe me, the only thing that Argentines care about is winning. If there was a black guy in Argentina that had a a passport that said nationality Argentine, and he was good enough to make it into the Pumas, he would be playing here. That's all we care about. But let's take this even further. What about basketball? You have no idea about football, rugby. Basketball is something that you guys play in the United States? Yeah, okay, well, we have a national basketball team as well. These guys are the Argentine basketball national team. And they're all looking pretty happy because they won the Copa America. I didn't even know that they play like a Copa America of basketball. But apparently, Argentina won the Copa America of basketball. And this goes for the entire continent of America. And that would include, yes, the United States as well. Turns out that Argentina won playing the final against Brazil. United States ended up in third place, right? So this is the Argentine basketball team. If there was a black guy, a black Argentine that was good enough to make it in the national team, he would be there. You have Ginobili playing in the United States. You probably heard of Ginobili. Well, that's the guy that came out of Argentina. If you look at the Brazilian team, it looks like a bunch of Brazilians. A lot of typical Brazilian, some more white than others, some more black than others, and basically a mixture. And that's typical of Brazil. Typical of the United States is the United States national, basketball team. Looks like a bunch of basketball players. One white guy here, maybe somewhere else, but that's it. Why is it that Argentina has if you look at even the ranking of international basketball, Spain number 1. I just saw this. United States second, Australia third, Argentina fourth place. What about the Spanish national team? Well, this is what the Spanish national team looks like. A bunch of white guys. There's one black guy here, and that's it. I assume that they just selected these guys not based on the color of their skin, but how well they played. That's basically it. And in the case of Argentina, the national teams of whatever sport look like freaking Argentines. This is my search of Argentina fans. This is what people on the other side, the fans that are watching the events look like. And there's not a whole lot of black people in Argentina. I mean, this is a random picture from the from the opposite to the field on the bleachers, and this is what it looks like. You don't see a whole lot of black people. That's why there's not many black players in the national teams. It's not a bunch of racist people that don't allow black players to make it. It's simply that we focus on winning rather than fulfilling a damn quota like apparently some of these left-wing racists think we should be doing. But if you focus more on performance and doing things right and winning, maybe it would work out better for you guys as well. Guys, it's gonna be all for now. See you in the next video. Take care.